What is everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers Without Filters podcast, episode 147. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson, and tonight I got a new brewski for you, Rhinegeist Blizzberry. Rhinegeist is probably one of my favorite brews that I've found out here, and it's like a winter berry beer, and I'll tell you what, this shit tastes good. It's probably the most berry tasting beer I've ever had, and I like it quite a bit.
Cool.
Would recommend.
Interesting. All right, I'm Joseph, and I'm drinking Founder Centennial IPA, and it's a solid beer. Can't complain.
Very nice. See that one all the time.
All right, I'm Gabe, and I'm drinking the Fair State Party Forward. It is probably my favorite brewery for like the quality of brews in the Twin Cities. I haven't had a bad beer from them. They've got some solid shit. Even shit you're like, I don't think I'll like that. They nail it. It's good.
Plus, they had
got
slushies in the summer. Those kicked ass.
Wait, alcoholic slushies?
Yeah,
Oh,
Like-
I like that.
like they had a pina colada. Even like some of their fruity beers, they would do as a slushie.
Oh, that's very
So-
nice.
Yeah, they got some good shit.
Hell yeah.
And I'm Dayton, and I am drinking a grapefruit LaCroix because I am currently doing dry January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I want to ask more.
Front wiper shit, but
I want to ask you more about that, but first, let me get the rigmarole. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. As always, you can find our show on Mondays on podcast services and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitch. Links are in the description below. And yeah, we're back after a little break for the holidays. We'll give a little holiday update, and then we'll get to the year compass as we do every year. But yeah, let's go over our holiday break stuff. And Dave, I want to start with you. One, what's Dry January all about? And two, I'm sorry for what happened to you this holiday break.
Yeah. Yeah. So dry January, really it just happened because my good friend Justin was like, hey, do you want to do dry January? And I'm like, fuck it, sure. So that's really what spurred it. And also because I probably had the worst hangover I've ever had on New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Is that what started the conversation?
No,
It's like-
no. I was
Okay.
talking to Justin just because I talked to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing dry January," and then I get a text on the 4th, and maybe the 5th, and he's like, "Man, I gotta be real with you, Dayton. I've already drank 4 out of the 5 days." and I'm like, so you're just leaving me out here for fucking dry, but I'm holding strong.
Okay, I like it.
But yeah, so my winter break, yeah, as Jacob hinted at, it was pretty shitty. I ended up getting COVID a few days before I was supposed to fly home for Christmas, so I had to self-isolate and spend all of Christmas alone. I didn't have human contact because my roommate was out of town for 10 days, including over Christmas. So that was pretty grueling. But I did manage to watch, The Witcher Season 2. I watched Demon Slayer, started playing more video games. And honestly, like, I don't have any, like, nagging symptoms or anything like that. Like, it didn't affect my lungs or anything, so I was able to start running right back, after, like, the 9 or 10 day mark. But yeah, overall, it wasn't a terrible case of COVID or anything.
Right. That was
but
more
yeah.
the isolation that was the hard part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that would be the part that would suck the most. Is like, don't do anything for 2
Mhm.
weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah,
Especially over
it is a
holiday.
good excuse to watch anime and play video games, but it's still not fun to not see a single
Yeah.
soul
I mean,
for that long.
I mean, especially when, like, the first 5 days were literally just, like, me sitting on a couch. Like, I literally didn't even want to watch TV. I was just, like, sleeping probably, like, 18 hours a day.
Mhm.
So,
I will say your mom's Instagram post about the holidays was hilarious. Because I don't know if you're on the podcast or not, but you have a standee of yourself at your
Mhm.
parents' house called
Mhm.
Flat Dayton,
Yep.
and your mom posted the guy a lot of use out of it this year.
Mhm. Yep. Back-to-back years
It's
of it being very
fantastic.
useful.
Yeah. Hopefully next year you'll be able to go home if
Fingers
we
crossed, man.
can escape this hellscape that is our world. But
Yep.
what about New Year's? You able to do something for that?
Yeah, New Year's I was able to hang out with my friends. We just went over to a friend's place, got absolutely obliterated, um, wrestled a lot, still have bruises from it. Um, that's how you know it was a good time. um, yeah, but yeah, New Year's was fine. And then, yeah, just been playing a lot of The Witcher recently. Back up and running, back up and lifting. That's good.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Nice.
Joseph, how was your break?
My break was good. I was able to go home, unlike Dayton, because I'm
Kiss
not
my
an
ass.
idiot and like goes to New York City just before Christmas. But you know, teach their own.
Kiss my ass.
um, so I got to spend a long weekend home with my family, which was nice. Got to see, you know, all my nieces and nephews. Um, and like, so I don't know if I talked about it, but the long story short is one of my sisters and her family had to move back in with my parents. So I got to experience the little one's Christmas morning, which was super fun.
Mm.
Being able to like see the joy, like, because obviously, like, the magic is gone a little bit now that we're
Yeah, you're
older.
dead
Mhm.
inside, but they're not yet.
Yeah, exactly. So like to them it was all new and like exciting and like you know Calvin was talking about like how excited he was for Christmas and you know for me to be home and all this stuff and so that was fun to be home for all that and to experience that with you know all the little ones and everything. And then I got, let's see, what else did we do? Well, you came to visit Jacob.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you were over here for New Year's for a couple days. And then I also played The Witcher. Um, spent,
Every time, whenever the show comes out, everyone's like, "I got back into The Witcher, baby. I gotta
I
do another
know,
playthrough."
but I think too this season tied into the Witcher 3 game a bit more than the first season.
Hmm.
So like to me it was like okay, it's like giving more hints to it, so it's like now I'm more excited to play it than
Yeah,
the first time. So yeah, this is the first time I've actually played The Witcher, so it's fun for me to get into that and see what all the hype was about. Because The Witcher is an underground game at this point, as we
of
all
course,
know.
of course. No one plays
Yeah.
it.
So
Awesome. Gub, how about you?
Man, it's been a minute. Yeah, so like I went home for a whole week, worked from home. But before I did that, I made a little pit stop in the UP. Got to see our friend from the podcast, Josh. I met up with my
Hmm.
dad. We did some fat tire biking, which was really fun. I've never fat tire biked on trails like that before, so that was interesting. Uh, not a ton of snow. Well, there was some snow, it just was a little bit icy. So I like didn't make it out of the parking lot without eating shit. It was really bad. I got I got the rental and it got off the off my dad's car and like okay, I gotta make sure like it works. Gotta get a feel for it, you know. So I like do a couple like body separation moves, see how you know it leans.
Hmm.
Boom, immediate black ice like on that on my ass. But we made the most of it. You know, I got to show him some of my favorite spots in Marquette because I spent so much time there in college. So I got to show him some cool trails, and that was really fun. Got to see some waterfalls, and I forced him to do a hike that I don't think he was super excited about initially, but was super hyped once we got to the end and got to like the view and stuff. So that was super fun. Then immediately went downstate and then worked from home for a week. So that was interesting. The highlight of that is my my brother was home for Christmas
Hmm.
because he's in college still, and as college students do, you stay up super late. So he was staying up till like 3 a.m. playing video games. So one of these nights he was driving me nuts, and I texted him like to quiet down a couple times, and he didn't. And I was like, wait a second, I'm in IT. So
Oh
I
no.
log in. So I log into their router, and they didn't change the password because why would they? So I log into the router. I'm like, interesting. There's some parental guidance options on here. So I blocked Discord from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And it immediately got quiet. Like I immediately fell back asleep because like I had to work the next day. So I was like, dude, like fucking cut it out, you know? I feel like that grumpy old man. Like let me go to sleep. But
Yep.
I was like, I'm gonna do something about it. No Discord after 2 a.m. That was the cutoff. So that was
2
really
a.m.
funny.
That's pretty generous.
Yeah, that is pretty
I feel
generous.
like 11:30 at most.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, I totally should have, but I forgot to remove it. And he texted me like I think it was yesterday. He texted me yesterday. He goes, "How do I unblock Discord? I figured it out." Like because he's also going in IT, so he's like, I figured out that you were blocking it. It's like took you long enough.
I was gonna say, he didn't figure that out immediately.
He sent me the text at like 2:30. Obviously, I was asleep, so I like woke up to it. I was like, I forgot to remove it.
He's just sitting there like, "Gotcha, bitch! I figured it
Yeah.
out." He was like,
Yeah,
"The fuck,
but he
dude?"
didn't know how to undo it, which is just so funny to me. But anyways, besides that, it was it's good to see family and stuff. It's definitely stressful. Split my time between them and seeing other friends from high school and stuff. But yeah, came back. Obviously hung out with you a little bit. We were gonna go to a concert, but it ended up getting canceled because the bandmates got COVID. So, COVID's back, and it's really fucking cold here. It's
Can't go.
high of -4 today.
low of -22
Negative
tonight,
22,
baby.
yeah.
I'm excited to be in a basement.
We got
I
a
love
wind
Minnesota,
chill
too.
warning for like the last 5 days, Joseph? Something insane like that.
Something like that.
The feels
yeah.
like hasn't been above -15 in like 3 days. It's
Oh
fucking
my
brutal.
gosh.
I love it here.
It's great. I love it. I walked to the gym today
Why?
Oh,
because I'm determined. Damn it! All right, like that's what I'm gonna do. So I put on my buff, and like my breath's moisture was going up my buff and like into my eyes, and my eyelashes froze like a minute and a half into my walk, there and back. So, yeah, I mean, I've kind of haven't been doing a ton, this last couple of days just because of that,
Yeah.
So.
It's fucking cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then for me, you guys already mentioned it, but I came up to Minnesota for Christmas and New Year's, so drove up. The drive up was fine, So I only stopped one time in 8 hours. I feel like a hero getting up there, and then hung out with my parents for a few days over Christmas, which was fine. We played a lot of this new board game they got called Wingspan. If you're a board game fan, I'd recommend it. It's a cool little game. Watch a bunch of movies, which if you want to hear more about, listen to the Red String Movie Podcast. The episode coming out the Friday after this one, I'll be giving a lot of reviews of stuff I watched. But that was fun. And then I was supposed to see and stay with my buddy Chris from high school, but he got COVID and his fiance got COVID like right before I was about to go see him. So that was a bummer. I didn't get to see him at all. But I stayed with friend of the show Perk for a couple days in the middle of the week before New Year's. That was really fun. We watched all the new season of Letterkenny. We did some hot tubbing, and while he was at work on Wednesday, I went upstairs like in the middle of the day to like find some food, and I ended up talking to his parents for like 3 hours straight, which was a great time. I like talking to other people's parents. Like my parents, I'm like, I've talked to you enough in my life, but I love talking to other people's parents. So that was fun. And then so that was a good time hanging out with him. And then on Thursday, I came up to Gabe and Joseph's place, and the first night we looked up every early 2000s pop punk music video we could think of, and just watched that for like how many hours? Like 3 or 4 hours. Like,
So
we were
long.
watching those. It was a good time.
it was quite a while.
It went both ways though, because we got like super poppy, and then we also got to like Slipknot at one point, and then I'm pretty sure System of a Down was playing at one point.
Yep.
It all went downhill when we started listening to Limp Bizkit.
Yo.
It like really took a turn.
I think we looked into break stuff. I think.
Yeah.
Oh my
I can't
god,
remember.
that was fun. And then on Friday, New Year's Eve, right? Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
We went ice skating, and we also I wanted to get Element Pizza, as I always do, but they were closed for the holidays, which is like understandable. Treat your workers well. We got Punch Pizza instead, which like is pretty good. It's not as good as Element. It's not as good. The crust isn't as good, in my opinion. But yeah, and it's drank a bunch. I I don't drink wine, but me and Nicole, who's Tim's girlfriend, killed a bottle of wine and got blasted. And then we were playing Jackbox and stuff. And then for some ungodly reason, so everyone went to bed except for me.
Yeah, dude, you guys
Nicole.
woke me up so
I know. I
often.
felt bad. I felt bad, Gabe. But it was me and Nicole and Ryan, who's their friend, who also went to tech. We were talking dating until 5 a.m.
What on
I checked my
earth?
watch at one point and it was like 4:45. And I was like, what the fuck are they laughing about at 4:45?
I know. It was so late. And like, it was okay. And here's why it was bad. Because we went ice skating earlier that day, right? And like, I had to rent skates that were too big. So my ankles were like fucked. And when you sleep only 5 hours with a bunch of alcohol in your system, your body doesn't recover, right? The next day, I get up, I'm like, all right. Yeah, I'm like, I'm driving back on Saturday. I had to get some sleep. So something like 10 a.m. I ended up leaving around noon, right? I'm like, this will be fine. Like a cool 8.5 hours back to Indiana. Looked at the Google Maps. I'm like, no traffic, perfect. I start going, and like it's fine. Being it's like fucking cold Minnesota. Once I get to Wisconsin, I'm like, okay, I'm vibing. As soon as I get to Illinois, I go straight into a goddamn snowstorm, and this shit sucked ass. I was going 40 miles per hour for like 2.5 hours, so it added on so much on my trip. I couldn't see shit. The roads were terrible. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare scenario. It basically took me like 10.5 hours to get home, and it was the worst. So my my body is fucked, and then like the days afterwards, my ankles hurt so bad because my body didn't recover, and I could walk and stuff. I could like feel it, and my body was just like not great. We got home barely, but overall it was a good trip, and I was glad I came up there to see you guys and my family and stuff. So yeah, successful winter break, but that was in the past. And now we're talking about the past this episode.
And now we're talking about more of the past.
Now we're talking about more of the past. So as we do every year, this first episode will be looking back on 2021. Then next episode will be looking forward to 2022. The year compass is kind of like a more advanced and a better version of year's resolutions, because it's not just like saying you're going to do something and then not doing it like most people do. No offense to those who make resolutions, but if you want to do one yourself, go to yearcompass.com. You can download the PDF and fill it out. So, yeah, we're gonna get through it here. So let's start on page 5, as we always do. And this is what my last year was about. Kind of separate into different categories. So we'll just do a little round robin here, picking a category, and maybe do 2 or 3 around. So we'll do the same order we did at the top of the episode. So Dayton, I'll start with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start with physical health and fitness. Mainly because this year I had a lot of firsts and a lot of just like solid improvements. So I was able to run my first ultra marathon. So I skipped right over the marathon, just went right to an ultra marathon. Which, I mean, it wasn't that much longer than a regular marathon. It was only like 4 more miles than a regular marathon, but it was in the mountains and it was a lot of elevation gain. Also, I guess technically it wasn't in 2021. Technically, it was the day before 2021. It was New Year's Eve of 2020. Yeah. I ran my fastest 5K, and then I PR'd my mile this year as well. I broke my PR by like 20 seconds or something like that. Maybe a little more than 20 seconds. I don't know. So a lot. And then started strength training some more. It's a mouthful.
Strength training.
And yeah, I'm feeling good.
Oh yeah, love to hear it. Joseph.
I'm gonna front load you guys with the first one, because this is the one I have the most shit in, and believe it or not, it's relaxation, hobbies, and creativity.
Every year.
Because we are predictable.
That one's the easiest one to fill out every year.
It is, and I put down like 5 things, and everything else is like 1 or 2. So even in years past, so I was pretty proud. I did a lot this year. I got way more into mountain biking this year. Gabe and Tim and and Nicole, we took quite a few trips. Like what was it, 4 or 5, I think, throughout the summer. Um, Taking time off over the summer, relaxation. I went backpacking twice, 2 pretty big trips with Dayton, and then one with my girlfriend Alyssa. Snowboarding in Jackson Hole, and I bought a road bike and was riding that quite a bit throughout town. So I I did a lot. I was a lot more active this year than in years past, and I was pretty happy with it. So
Oh yeah, love to hear it.
and really I got to experience quite a few of my hobbies more often than I previously had.
Mhm.
So
Hell yeah. Gub.
Oh man. I'll do that one next time. I'm gonna copy Dayton. I'm gonna do physical health and fitness. Just because I feel like this year, I don't know what it really was, but I feel like I really kind of nailed it. I got like super lean in the summer, just doing a lot of mountain biking. I did a ton of day trips and a lot of riding, and then even as it kind of got into the winter, like just looking back through some of my numbers and stuff and my massive Google spreadsheet that I keep track of all my lifts. I've been making a lot of progress, and it feels awesome. Like I definitely feel uh, a lot stronger and a lot like healthier than I have ever. And no, it just feels great to be in the present, be the strongest and the healthiest that I've ever been. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really happy with it, and it just feels so fucking good. I don't know.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I'll also do relaxation, hobbies, creativity, because why not? All right. Um, so overall, I think I watched a lot of like there's a lot of good content this year, like with movies and anime and just everything. There was just fantastic stuff, so I'm really happy about that. Um, I'm really happy that I was able to start the Red String podcast with Perk. That's been really fun so far, even though it's only been like about a month or so. That's been really fun. Um, I tried to play piano for like a month, remember, like back in like April or May. I keep saying I'm gonna get back to it. I hope I do, but it's not high on the priority list right now, but maybe. Um, and then the other thing I wrote down is like, even though I'm spending too much time on it, I do really, really love TikTok, and that's gonna come up more than once in Senior Compass, but it has been amazing in that like I feel like I've just learned so much using that app about just the world and about different people and also a lot of it comedy stuff. But um, I've really, really enjoyed being on there, so that's been fun.
Hmm.
Dayton, back to you.
Um, yeah, I guess I'll do personal life and family. So I feel like I was able to see my family a decent amount this year actually, because I went home in May and did some backpacking with like my dad and my some of my extended family. So that was nice. That was I took, let's see, three of them. It was the first time backpacking. One of them was a scout leader. So took them backpacking in Manistee. That was really nice. So I was home for like a week or so. And then I was able to go home in August for like 3 weeks or something like that. That was when Joseph and I backpacked and went up to the
Mm,
QAnon stuff. And then I was able to go home for the squeeze. And that was like another
yep,
like
that was
week or
fun.
so. And then I was able to go home for Thanksgiving. And then I was supposed to be able to go home for Christmas, but you know wasn't in the cards. Uh, but yeah, it was nice because I feel like the past 2 years, especially since I've been out here, I haven't been able to go home all that often. So it was nice.
Yeah, oh yeah, Joseph.
I'll do mental health and self-knowledge. I was able to change jobs from one that was not productive towards my mental health to one that is. And in between, I took quite a bit of time off. It was probably like 5 months that I spent kind of just thinking about things, about what I wanted to do next, and that. And so I mean, it's damn near half the year that I spent kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do next and
Hmm.
how I wanted to tackle that. And so I think that really improved and helped me throughout the year. So I think I'm pretty proud of that one and glad that I was able to work through all that. So
Yeah, for sure. Gabe.
All right, I'll just get it out of the way, guys. Relaxation, hobbies, creativity. Uh, I kind of try to do these in order of like the year. So I'd say like the first 3 to 4 months, I was still playing guitar a lot, and then I definitely fell off the wagon once it started getting nicer outside. So I got super into mountain biking. I mean, you've heard the updates if you guys listen a lot. Done a ton of different trips. I think I on Strava it says I did like 560 miles of single trek, so pretty
Oh,
respectable. I did a ton of day trips. Went all over the place. Uh, I snowboarded when I could. Obviously, Jackson Hole was super fun. I got to do a lot more camping that kind of came with the mountain biking, which is fun. It was just car camping, but still fun and relaxing.
Hmm.
I finally got back into soccer, which I kind of forgot is really fun. Like I fucking love playing soccer. And that was really fun just to kind of get back into it and find the communities around the area that are really passionate about it and meet a lot of cool new people doing that. So I'm really happy that I got to rediscover that something that I did all through, you know, my childhood all the way up to college. So that's been super fun. And then I've played a decent amount of cool video games in between, so it's been really fun.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna switch it up and do friends and community.
Mm.
Um, so this year, especially in the end of the year here, so I mean, I've had Lissa as my best friend here for a while now, and I've been really appreciative of her and all she's helped me out with. But addition to that, recently we've been hanging out more as people in our department, kind of more of in a group setting, which has been nice, just to have some more people to hang out with and chat with and everything. So that's been really good to have a little bit more of a community here. And then also, like ever since my buddy Chris from high school like got engaged, feels like we've been talking a lot more, which has been really nice to kind of just reconnect with him and just talk to him more often. And then Perkins as well through the Red String podcast. So like overall, I feel like really good about my friends and Chris. So Chris got COVID as I mentioned, and so he's quarantining right now. He's been calling me like every day because he's an extrovert. He's like always talking to people, and his fiance is working. He's like, Jacob, I'm bored. Talk to me. I was like, all right, dude. And I don't know what it is. 9 out of 10 times, whenever he calls me, I'm in the bathroom and or like just got out of the shower, so I'm naked, and it's just the worst and funniest timing. Like yesterday and today, he called me while I was like just got out of the shower. It's like, what is your intuition? Um, but yeah, no, I've been really happy. I've been having more friends than just you guys, which you guys are great, but you know what I mean. Having more people around is always good.
Mhm.
Do you guys go on one more time, or want to move on?
Do one more.
All right,
All right,
Dayton.
since Gabe talked first, I guess that's what we're doing. Um,
You can pass if you want to.
no, it's fine. You know what? I am gonna choose actively to not do relaxation, hobbies, and creativity
Oh, got a
Boo.
rebel over here.
because I want to be
I
independent.
bet you think you're cool because you're different and unique, Dayton. Get the
Damn
fuck
it.
out of here.
Damn it. No, I'm gonna do mental health and self knowledge. So yeah, I just put like learning more about like what I need to stay like mentally in check has been like huge this year. Like I realized through like having like a structured like training plan how much like I usually need a routine um, in order to like stay I guess like disciplined and not just like feel like I'm like off the rails. Um, but I think like case in point for this was when I had COVID and I was literally quarantined for 10 days. I even when I was like feeling like fine, like towards like day like 8, 9, and 10, I still didn't do jack shit. I was like, I there's nothing stopping me from doing like a body weight workout here or
Mm.
working on my motorcycle or doing any number of these things that's on like my like to-do list essentially. But I just like couldn't make myself do it. So I learned that like having like a routine for myself, even though I usually hate routines, like having even like the slightest thing that's like a routine really helps me. And then also just learning to say no when I need to like
Mm.
recharge. Because
Yeah.
usually I'm kind of like a yes man. Like if somebody asks me to do something, I'm probably gonna like say yes. Um,
And if they
but
challenge you, you really got to do
exactly, then I'm like, damn it, you got yourself a deal.
it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I got.
All right. I'm kind of see. I'll do personal life and family, which is very similar to Dayton's, because I mean, similar situations.
We're in the
I
same
was
sweatshirt right
able,
now.
huh?
You were in the same sweatshirt right now.
Hey, they're
We
they're
are the
inverse.
same.
They're
Yeah,
inverse.
they're inverse. They're not exactly the same. Um, but I was able, I told my family like once I'm vaccinated, like I'll be able to come home and
Hmm.
see you guys. And so it was like the 2 weeks after my second shot, I took, time off and I was like, I'm going home. And so it ended up being like Mother's Day. So that was the first time I'd seen, my family in about a year in person.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So like there was that, and then I went home like 2 or 3 times over the summer to see them, and I mean there were a couple other times throughout the year that I was able to see them, Christmas and Thanksgiving. But I think with the ages my nieces and nephews are at right now, like being around them is a lot more is important so that, I'm a familiar person and not just a stranger that shows up every once in a while. So
Hmm.
to me, it's been important to see them, and I've been trying to make more of a point to be home when I can. And I think I did a pretty good job. Probably not, I mean, I probably could have done better, but I spent a lot of time home and I was very thankful and getting to see them grow and is more being more comfortable with me too, because a couple of my nieces and nephews would be hesitant for a while, but like over Christmas break, like they were all so excited to see Uncle Jerfus, and
Jervis.
that's what they call me. I don't make the rules, all right? You don't get to pick your nicknames. Um, but yeah, so that was super exciting. Thanksgiving and Christmas, I could really notice a difference. And part of that's because they're getting older and more
Right.
recognizing of me, but I think time and stuff is part of that too. So,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great. Go, what's your last one?
Yeah. I'll
better
do
be a
friend.
good one because you made us do a third.
All right. I
Just
was just trying to be positive, man.
kidding.
I'll do friends and community because I know it was a lot on my last year compass, and even like in the check-in, I mentioned that I really wanted to like branch out, make some new friends, and I feel like this last year was really a year where I made some headway. I mean, part of that was, I mean, COVID kind of died down there for a hot minute. There was a golden era,
Mhm.
like,
July.
yeah, like the
There's
summer,
that ray of
honestly, like,
sunshine where
yeah,
we're like, it's almost
it's
done.
almost done. So like I really got to hang out with a lot of my coworkers, and I've gotten a really awesome group at work, which is really fun. Uh I mean, we can go into work and goof off, and I don't know. It just that's super fun, and it makes work a lot more manageable. And I've hung out with a ton of them outside of work, and it's been awesome. I've also, like I kind of mentioned in the last one, got to do a lot of soccer stuff. So one of the guys that I work with is also kind of in that local community, and got to meet a ton of people through that. And there's the team that I joined on. I joined as a free agent, didn't know anybody on the team, and um, that was pretty nerve-wracking and pretty scary for me. Like it's definitely
Hmm.
outside of my comfort zone, but there's some people on there that are super cool, and I definitely see myself hanging out with them more and more. So that's been really awesome to do that. And finally, even like I know you've heard the horror stories, but the community at the gym that I go to and stuff like where I frequent a lot is really fun, and very like welcoming and encouraging, and that's awesome. It makes me want to go more and push harder. So
Nice.
Nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. My last one, I'll do career and studies, just because this year was a year. Overall, like I didn't make a lot of progress on my like degree, which didn't really feel good, and that kind of culminated in the fall, me having like a massive existential crisis combined with some depression, which was really rough, but got through it. I switched to a master's, and like now I'm feeling a lot more like I'm on solid ground of like what my plan is. Like I have a timeline when I'm supposed to graduate. I know like what my project expectations are, and I'm just excited now that I'll be able to get out of here a lot sooner than I initially thought and figure out what I want to do once I finish. So, um, It was a pretty tumultuous year, but I think I'm in a good spot now to move forward for next year. So ended on a good note.
Solid.
All right, let's move on to page 6. These are 6 sentences about my past year. You guys don't have to read all of these, just read any that you're comfortable sharing. And let's go Dayton read as much as you want, Joseph as much as you want, Gabe as much as you want, and then me and the both move to the next page. So I don't have to bounce around every single one.
Okay.
So yeah, Dayton, as many as you want to read.
Yeah, I'll just go down the list. The wisest decision I made was committing to run an ultra marathon. The biggest lesson I learned is you need a routine, my guy. The biggest risk I took was building a pack raft and using it to pack raft across this remote lake inside of an island that's on a lake, aka Lake DeSore in Isle Royale. The biggest surprise of this year, I put getting COVID, and then I was like, "LOL, nah, maybe buying a motorcycle." The most important thing I did for others was improving my emotional intelligence so I can be a better person in my loved ones' lives. And then the biggest thing I completed, I put ultra marathon and my pack raft.
Oh yeah, Joseph.
Nice. Let's see. So, wisest decision I made at this juncture was to work outside of engineering for the time being. Biggest lesson I learned was that just because I studied engineering doesn't mean I have to do that as my only job. I struggled with that for quite a while, and I'm glad I kind of came out the other side. The biggest risk I took, these first three are all related to work. Taking a major pay cut in favor of my happiness. See, biggest surprise of the year. Shout out to Alyssa for going on to Pictured Rocks with me. We hiked 40 miles in 4 days. Not all of those miles were happy miles, but she told me before we left that she wanted to do another trip like this. And she's like, as rough as it was for a couple parts, this is fun. Like in the moment, this is fun. After the fact, she still says it's fun. So that was a huge surprise to me, and a good surprise, to say the least.
Even though you forgot her oatmeal.
Yeah, that's not important. That's not important. We made it work. It's okay. Little things. And then the biggest thing I completed was hiking and pack rafting 60 miles on Isle Royale.
Let's go.
I was shitting my pants. I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous, but it was a blast. So
awesome. Good.
Yeah. Wisest decision I made. So I said pursuing my personal goals and filling my time to make more experiences memorable instead of mundane. Biggest lesson I learned, if you want to do something as an adult, you got to put in the effort. Got to make the trips, you got to plan them. Just not going to fall in your lap. So put a lot of effort into planning all that stuff to make stuff happen, to fight that monotony. Biggest risk I took, I have either joining soccer team as a free agent for like social risk, or that big drop in Cuyuna.
it was kick ass though.
It was pretty sick. Yeah, anything scary on a bike, I guess. Biggest surprise of the year, I have COVID coming back. I couldn't really think of anything else. I know it's kind of a cop out. Most important thing I did for others. I mean, I feel like I say this every year, but listening to people when they need someone to talk to, and trying to be better about like solutionism instead of actually listening and just like being there to listen.
The male conundrum.
Yeah, I think that's
more of like the engineer's conundrum, I should say.
I think it's a combo of being a guy and like having the STEM mindset of just like, well, why didn't you do this? Like just trying to be better about like hearing people and providing input when they want it instead of unnecessarily. And then I have the biggest thing I completed. I have mountain bike miles. Like honestly, that's multiple different things, like different trips and different features and sketchy shit. Definitely fell a lot and learned a lot though. I feel like I made a ton of visible progress. just in a few things that I've recorded and stuff. And that also kind of goes into some fitness stuff. Like I definitely feel a lot healthier than I did the last year. So.
And then for me, wisest decision I made was switching to a master's. Biggest lesson I learned. This one I wouldn't necessarily say to every single person, but for me, I think it's true is that like bad times will pass. You just have to like persevere, hang in there, and like monitor yourself and you're in the situation. Just like put in the work, and just hang on. Biggest risk I took, switching to a master's. Biggest surprise of the year, I have two. Starting a second podcast, I didn't expect to happen, and also just how good Spider-Man was. I mean, come on, how was it that good?
Cannot be explained.
Most important thing I did for others. My cop-out answer is getting vaccinated, but my other answer I wrote down. I won't be too specific about this because I don't want to like anybody to be embarrassed about it. But like, I'm a part of another organization here on campus, and there's a situation where a person in power was not being the best with that power, and so we had to kind of have a little intervention with them, which I was very anxious about, but overall ended up going really well, and I'm glad we did it, even though I was scared, but we got through it, so that was good. And then the biggest thing I completed, I didn't really go here. I wrote an episode 100 of the podcast that I forgot that was this year, in January, and that was
shit.
it was fun kind
Really?
of putting all those
Oh my
stats
God.
together. Yeah, so yeah, that was my biggest thing I completed. Next one, 6 questions about my past year, same format. Dayton, as many as you want to read.
Let's see. What are you most proud of? I'm most proud of my fitness accomplishments this year and how much time I was able to spend outside. I was able to spend I think 7 or 8 weekends up in New Hampshire this summer.
Yeah, you're up there like every single time you could.
Yeah. It was great. And then I'm gonna say, who are the 3 people you influenced the most? I'm gonna go with my friend Connor, who lives out here. He committed to doing the ultra marathon with us this past summer, and kind of kicked off his enjoyment for running as well. And he also got into like a weight loss kick, so he ended up losing like a good amount of weight this year, because of that. And then Justin was on my list last year, I think. And then one of my good friends from high school, Rachel, just because I supported her when she was not having a good time with her registered dietitian exam stuff. I wasn't able to get my sub 5 minute mile that I wanted. And I wasn't able to go home for Christmas. That's one of the things.
Blame
I
COVID
wasn't-
for both of those.
I can't really blame COVID for not getting my sub 5 minute mile. That's just because I don't have enough time to do that right now.
That's 2 weeks you could have been training. Just tell yourself that. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can see Dayton like not buying what you're giving him.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to sell him, but he's not
He's
buying.
like, no,
Yeah.
it was me. Like,
And then, what are you most grateful for? My close friends that make it worthwhile to stick around this area. Because I don't think I would have stuck around as long as I have out here without them.
Yeah. That's for sure. As someone who's visited out there.
oh damn, it wasn't that bad.
I don't know. I mean, New Hampshire's amazing, but Connecticut.
Yeah.
Joseph.
All right. Most proud of definitely hiking Isle Royal with Dayton and his dad
Let's
Ralph.
go.
That was. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad that I mentioned it kind of offhandedly during the year compass last year, and Dayton kicked me into gear about doing it. Let's see who influenced me the most. Definitely at least Dayton. Again, Isle Royal. And I probably wouldn't be vegetarian if it wasn't for Dayton being vegan and kind of making fun of me for a long time. After me making fun of him for a long time.
It sounds like bullying to me.
It's mutual bullying.
I mean, I
It's-
guess you
it's
could be
healthy.
influenced by a bully, like one way or another. You know?
Exactly. What I wasn't able to accomplish, I did end up doing 3 trips, backpacking trips. I only did the 2. unless you count like Alyssa and I did like a practice 12-mile hike with our packs. I don't count it, but and then I didn't end up doing a solo trip. So I could have crushed those two with one turn, but I didn't. The biggest thing or best thing discovered about myself was that I don't have to be an engineer to be happy or to have other people be proud and support me. That I'm glad I was able to come to that realization. And also that just because I took a break from it doesn't mean I gave up on it. You know, there's nothing stopping me from this this fall or spring coming up to go back. Like there's, you know, that's not that doesn't mean I gave up. And then I was most grateful for being able to spend time with my family again, for sure. So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wait,
Yep.
so does this mean that we need to rename our podcast to 2 out of the 4 engineers without filters?
Is it just one? Well, I guess Gabe is an engineer, right?
Gabe's
Your degree isn't engineering, but you're
but
technically.
his
Dude,
title.
it's just a title, honestly.
We all have engineering degrees. It's fine.
Do we?
Well, 3 of us do, and Gabe is technically. It's fine.
I think
all
it's
right?
Mine
one and a
isn't an
half.
engineering degree technically
I think it's
either.
one and a
yeah.
half, Dave. I think it's just you and then half points for me. I think that's what it is.
We're a bunch of frauds.
Hey, not you and me. Just kidding. Uh, 6 questions about my past year. What are you most proud of? I would say my ability to initiate things if I want to do them. I'm not afraid to do them by myself. I think I'm a very independent person, and I prove myself that time and time again. For the people that influence you the most and the 3 that you influence the most, I honestly didn't fill it out just because, I mean, I know it's a cop-out, but I mean, there's just so many different people in my life that have influenced me and I've influenced them. It's kind of hard to nail it down for each individual aspect that they influence me, because people influence me in different ways and on different aspects
You
of my
just
life.
flew solo this year.
Yeah, no. What was I not able to accomplish? I think I looked back in my last year at Compass and I wanted to play a full song guitar, and that didn't happen just because I reprioritized some other hobbies. But that's not to say it won't happen at some point. I wanted to really do hockey stopping on ice skates, but I've already gone 3 times this week, last couple days, even though it's been really cold, and I've already gotten much better. So I'm fixing that one really quick. I didn't want to read as much as I wanted to. I like the idea of reading, and then there's always other stuff that takes up my time.
We all do, Gabe. We all do.
It's
doesn't happen.
I'm gonna become a reader, and then like I don't know, ice skating sounds more exciting than reading or anything else, honestly. And then I this one's like a little it's a little embarrassing, but I'll say it anyways. I'm really bad at like normalizing dating. Like I'm really bad with it. And that's something that I'm really trying to get better about, like thinking that it isn't a big deal. I think I like hype it up way more in my head. And when I don't, I have a lot more fun. And even when it's bad, it's just like meeting people where it's like, okay, this isn't gonna work out. Like, see you later. But I think I struggled really in the summer, and it's getting better. But it's definitely something I wanted to do in my head. I just never really feel like I figured out. So we're getting there.
Awesome.
It's the best thing I discovered about myself. Man, I just did independence again. Like, there's a lot of day trips and stuff, and other goals that I kind of set personally in my head that if I wanted to do it, I just ended up doing it. You know, there's a couple Sundays where I was like, woke up, I'm like, I want to go mountain biking. I want to go here, and I just drove. You know, drive all over the place, do different stuff. So that's been really fun to kind of learn to enjoy my own company more and more. So what am I most grateful for? I have my job in multiple different ways. So the people I work with, the stability that it gives me to like buy stupid shit to allow me to do those trips and stuff. And I feel like it's a pretty good first job. Sometimes I definitely struggle thinking like maybe this isn't for me and maybe it's not in the spot that I want it to be in. But overall, I do think that it's a pretty good spot, and I do like it. I got friends, obviously, and just I don't know, the experiences that I got to have. I think when 2020 was like very much a year where it was locked down, we still had a few months this year where, um, or 2021, that I got to do a lot of stuff and experience a lot of stuff. And just looking at my Google Map history for 2021, I was all over the place, and it just
Mm,
felt really good to be able to do all that stuff and have a bunch of stupid stories. So
yeah. Oh yeah. No, it just made me think of like July was the only month since I've been at Purdue that we didn't have to wear masks. That ended real fast. now
oh
we're
yeah.
now we're back in the shit. I ordered some KN95 masks. I'm like,
Here we
Omicron's more
go.
transmissible, so now we're getting the real shit. But
Oh
all right.
shit, here we go again.
My 6 questions. What I'm most proud of. So I have a problem with pride. I very rarely feel pride. I feel like the only criteria where I am prideful are things that no one told me to do, and not a lot of people do. And so the only things that fit that are just the two podcasts that I do, so I'm pretty proud of those. The people who influenced me the most, Lissa, just because she's been my rock this entire year, and just really keep my head on straight, which I really appreciate. My boss, who we don't talk a lot, but we try to have a conversation every month, like a one-on-one, and he's kind of helped me get my shit together and not been like judgmental about stuff I've been going through. So he's helped me out a bit. And then my third one I wrote down as TikTok, which is kind of a cop out, but like it truly has like helped me become a better ally to a bunch of different groups, more compassionate, empathetic, just in general, and just learning that the United States fucking sucks, but not just that, but now I know why, and a lot of things make a lot of sense to me now, which is kind of depressing. But I'm glad I have the information as opposed to being ignorant about it. So
Hmm.
um, overall, I think it's a positive. Was I not able to accomplish? I already mentioned it, but I didn't accomplish much of my project this year, which hope to fix next year. What's the best thing you've discovered about yourself? So this is a thing that I've just kind of come to recently through talking to friends and through therapy and stuff. But like, there are things that I don't like about myself that are a result of trauma that wasn't my fault. Like, there's shit that happened when I was a kid that I had no control over that have kind of affected me in ways that now I can kind of see, and that's okay. It wasn't my fault, and I can kind of work to improve those things. And then what I'm most grateful for, just like my support network of my friends, my therapist, my family. Thankfully, I have a lot of people I can call when I'm having a bad time. So that's been very helpful this last year. All right, do we have time? I think we do. Let's do page 8 and just pick, a couple or three that you want to talk about. These are the best moments from the last year. And Dayton, you are up, my dude.
Um, yeah, I'll just kind of do it in like list form. So using my pack ref for the first time, taking it on its maiden voyage. Did that in my hometown with one of my good friends from when high school, middle school, elementary school. Did it on the lake that he lives on with him. Completing the Pemi Loop, which was the ultra marathon. Actually cried after that because I was like, it is just the emotions after completing
Hmm.
it, like the culmination of all my training. Summiting this mountain right as the clouds broke. Like I literally stepped on, grabbed a hold of like the post, and the clouds broke, and just the view is awesome. Backpacking Isle Royal, specifically paddling across the lake in just complete fog. That was just insane, otherworldly. Um, Finishing the website that I built for work,
I guess I
PRing my
forgot about
mile,
that.
um, camping a ton up in New Hampshire, and just like the campfire smoke, like unpacking my car, and just like the smell of like campfire smoke and like the woods and stuff like that coming out of my car, and then just pushing myself past what I thought my limits were.
Yeah, that's some anime character shit right there.
Yeah. Spent the entire year training like a shonen anime.
Just what about
Uh,
you?
I really already talked about all these things. I only had three, but backpacking, both trips, date with Dayton and Pictured Rock or Isle Royal, and then Pictured Rocks with Alyssa. Just being out in nature and the quiet is kind of one of my favorite places to be. You don't get that very often, especially living in a city. So getting that again and like really experiencing that was awesome. Jackson Hole, other than not being able to see for most of it because of the blinding snow and my goggles fogging up the entire time,
I
but
forgot about that.
that fucking sucked.
For you,
Um,
I could say she's fine.
also, that was like my first trip of doing like anything since the pandemic started. It
Hmm.
was probably a little too early to go in
Oh, it
hindsight,
was. Yeah.
but we did and it was fine.
No,
So,
it was way too early. But we didn't get
um,
COVID, so it's fine.
yeah, so knock on wood, still haven't yet. And then spending Christmas with my family and getting to watch my niece and nephew open their Santa Claus gifts and like
Mm-hmm.
seeing the joy in their faces and all of that was awesome. So those are definitely the three highlights.
Hell yeah. Gabe.
Yeah. I have a lot of general stuff, honestly. Jackson Hole was awesome, like just was saying. That was my first time going out west, so that was euphoric. I'm excited to go out west again here soon. Uh, Mountain biking, just post beer or post ride beers, just like something about it, man. Like you just work your ass off and you're just dead, and you're
That
like,
is hit.
give me a beer instead of food. Like it's just so good. It's so great. I love that. I love the campfires. Just being out in the woods, the snow and all that stuff. I also have uh, a few things with work that I was really happy with. I got to do a work trip in a really cool spot in Seattle, and that was really fun to do that for free. Minus I had to work, I guess, but uh, they got promoted up a rank, which felt pretty good, feel rewarding. Um, well, I guess I got a couple city things. I have. I'm not even I guess nostalgic because I haven't been able to go in a while because of like COVID's been kind of bad, but going out to some bars where there's like a lot of live music was super fun. There's a couple nights where there's just small local like really close bands that were just super fun and super chill nights, and I just had a lot of happiness there. Um, yeah, and I just have just there's a couple there's a picture. I think I actually have it on my dating profile of like me mountain biking hitting something for the first time. You can just see like me being like visibly super happy, like uncontrollably happy. And I feel like anytime I'm in that like adrenaline state, or I think they call it flow, like when I'm in flow,
Mhm.
that always makes me happy. I'm always seeking out that like feeling where you just feel super connected with your body and it just kind of does what you want it to do, you know?
Mhm.
Hmm. For sure. For me, first off, if you're a MCU fan, we were eating good this year. We got 4 movies and 5 shows, and I was able to watch the majority of those with Lissa, which was really fun. So that was fantastic. Nikki Jakey came back at the end of the year, which brought me so much joy. Like I don't know why, but it was just I think he went off. He's a YouTuber. Me and Joseph, like he just went off the grid like over a year ago without saying anything, and it's just been gone. And we're like, where's Nikki Jakey? And he came back with a new song and a new video essay, and they're both fantastic. And I'm just like, it brought me a lot of joy to know like he's back, he's happy, he's got a girlfriend now. It's all good.
And
Uh,
he's got an album coming out. He announced an album
yeah, I got an
coming
EP
out
coming
too.
out next month. I'm so fucking
So
excited. Yeah, very happy he's back. Um, Episode 100 of the podcast was really fun. The bullshit bracket was really fun this year. Having Perk on, just being an
Mhm.
absolute clown, was a great time. And then One Piece episode 1000 happened recently, which was a very special occasion. It's a very very cool nostalgic episode. They went back and did a bunch of fun stuff, looking back on the whole series. So uh, that was great. So yeah, mostly media related, but that's what I do with most of my time. So it was just all like the really cool shit that happened this year. All right, and then lastly, we'll do page 12. This is the past year in 3 words. The book of my past year, which is if there's a book or movie made about your past year, what would you give it? So let's do those 2 things. Dayton, you're up first.
So my 3 words: running, New Hampshire. Even though it's 2 words, that's I'm counting it as 1 word because it's one state.
One state, yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
counts.
then backpacking. And then the
Hmm.
book of my past year. I actually spent a decent amount of time thinking about this, and I'm still not super happy with my title. But it is discomfort and comfort, finding the balance. And then my farewell is, I think I'm ready to say goodbye to Connecticut, but not to my friends that live here. So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Joseph?
My 3 words were concerts, adventure, and change. I definitely went to more concerts this year alone than the entire rest of my life, minus a one weekend festival, which is like, I don't know how you would count those concerts. I count that as one, but and so, and then my book, I kind of copped out because it's actually a song title, but it's a change is gonna come. And see, it's a get you because you thought, oh, the vaccine and COVID's gonna be over, but no, because we're all right back where we were. And then I didn't do the goodbye to your last year because I was exhausted when I finished this last night. So
That's fine. Gabe?
Yeah. My 3 words. I have, like I was mentioning before, I have flow, progress, and then confusion. Confusion. I feel like there's like a lot of there's just been a lot of shit going on in the world. And I think personally, it's been changing me, and I'm really confused as to like kind of where I'm at in life and where I want to go. So yeah, weird mixed bag. And then for the book of my past year, I spent a lot of time on it, and I'm pretty sure last year you guys laughed at me, so it can't be worse, right? I called it Escaping Monotony, because I think I spent a lot of time on trying to make it not 2020.
That's fair.
And goodbye to your last year. I did put a couple of things, but I would like to keep that to myself. So.
That's fine. My 3 words, first one is TikTok, obviously. Second one is help, and third one is acceptance. I put help in there because for a bit in the fall, I definitely felt like I was like kind of drowning, and I was able to get a lot of help, which I appreciated. And then acceptance of finally accepting like this is who I am now, and I like it. And then to that end, my book title is I'm Not Who I Thought I Was, and That's Okay. And then I will also keep my farewell private. You guys don't get to see it, all right?
Oh, it's a podcast. It's audio.
We're
Not sharing the
we're on
PDFs.
YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're not sharing the PDFs.
That'd be funny if I just like screen share it on accident.
Yeah, you want to screen share it?
All right. Well, that is saying goodbye to 2021. Next year or next week, we will look forward to 2022. But until then, thanks you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Peace.